President Trump last week appointed U.S. ambassador to Germany, Richard Grenell, who's goes by Rick Grenell, to the post of acting director of national intelligence. Now, that's that high-level position that was created over all the intelligence agencies that occurred after 9/11. Because you remember the big story in 9/11 was, we had the information, just nobody was sharing it with each other. If only the FBI had known what the CIA had known, and the CIA had known what the FBI had known. I mean, we could have beaten this problem. We would have known about it in advance. We knew this was going on. They just weren't sharing the information. At least that was the story, right? And so to overcome that problem, let's create a supra agency, an agency above all the other agencies that will force the various agencies to share information, and the head of that's the Director of National Intelligence. So for many years, that was Dan Coates under President Obama, and then it was another gentleman. And, of course, when you appoint these acting DNIs, they can only be in there for a certain period of time. I forget exactly how long it is, but it's less than a year they can actually stay in as acting.
Doesn't it take them a while to get up to speed?
Well, you would think, but, really what speed do you need to get up to besides thinking critically, asking questions, demanding evidence for various claims that come from the intelligence agencies? And so that's what Ambassador Rick Grenell has already started to do in his role. And in fact, and I don't have the exact name pulled up here, but I saw that, because I don't know if you saw it last week, but we started getting the accusation again, Russia's getting involved in the next election. They're going to help President Trump win again. First of all, the first time it was disproved. It's been disproved. I mean, the only actual thing they can point to is the alleged hack of the DNC servers, right? That's the only. Then they've got this Russian troll farm based out of Macedonia that produced all these memes, which Aaron Matei, a very interesting, very liberal reporter, went through and collected all those memes on his Twitter feed. And if you actually take the time to go through and look at the memes, I mean, it's like the least impressive set of memes that I've ever seen. They're terrible.
Nothing subliminal there that's going to sway someone?
You'd have to be, look, if you think Americans are that stupid that those memes are going to change their mind, I think you ought to just come out and say it, because that's a pretty huge insult to the voting public. But I guess that's what they're basically saying, is that Americans are that stupid that those few little memes. I mean, I've heard people say this, people I've been in conversation with who are just absolutely convinced that the Russians are involved in our elections, that they love Trump, that Trump is somehow this Russian asset. A friend of mine has been telling me, Trump's been involved with the Russian mob since the 80s. You don't understand. You don't know what I know. I said, well, could you give me some evidence? I just know this because I'm from New York, and we know this in New York. Well, okay, I'm open to the idea. If that's true, just show me the evidence. I would like to see it, because if that's true, then we got to get him out of office. I agree. But where's the evidence? And I try to talk these folks through this stuff, and to me, it's very simple. You can think this through yourself and use your common sense and rely on the evidence that we do know is true, that we do have in place. And that is that there was a FISA warrant, FISA investigation, which means that they could get basically every bit of electronic communication issued for Carter Page. And remember, there's a 2-hop rule on those investigations, so they can get everything that Carter Page had. Then they can get, and we're talking about everything. We're talking about text messages, telephone calls, financial information, every bit of electronic information. The NSA systems are so powerful that they can pull up literally everything about you, every communication you've ever had, audio communication, written communication, your emails, your text messages, your phone calls, everything. They can pull it all up, see who you've talked to. But with the 2-hop rule, they not only get your stuff, but they get the same degree of information about everybody that you've ever communicated with. And now that's just 1 hop right there, okay? Because then they are able to get the same degree of information about everybody that you've communicated with has communicated with. That's the 2-hop rule. And you're talking tens of thousands of people within that 2-hop rule.
Tin cans and strings. Stay safe.
Now, within that Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
only way to
That's right.
communicate.
Smoke signals. Smoke signals are your only way. They can't get to smoke signals. But within that two-hop rule from Carter Page is who? President Trump, right? Because even if Carter Page didn't directly communicate with President Trump, he directly communicated with somebody who did, probably many people who did, since he was part of the campaign. So within the Carter Page FISA, they get President Trump's electronic communications, and that's exactly why Peter Strzok was able to say before he joined the Mueller investigation, he was able to say to his lover girl, Lisa Page, I don't know that I want to join the investigation because I'm not convinced that at the end of the day there's any big there. And why was he not convinced of that? Because he'd already been through, the FBI already had already been through President Trump's electronic communications, and they already knew that he wasn't working with Russia. Period. The end. They knew that before the Mueller investigation even started. And believe me, if he was, they would have leaked that information out, and you would already know it.
Thank you for listening to the Morgan Streetman Show. We hope you enjoyed what you heard, and if you did, please click like and subscribe to help us out. And remember that we recommend that you exercise your brain at least once a week.